and today we're going to be looking at the Marvel's Blade game and all the rumors, details, leaks and news that we know so far about this game. And there has been some development updates on this game which have gone under the radar, so we're going to be bringing that to light. So Marvel's Blade is being developed by Arcane Leon, and this is the team that brought us Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Prey and Deathloop, which were all considered critically acclaimed games and have won several Game of the Year awards. And we even have an official overview of the game which reads, in Marvel's Blade, Eric Brooks is the legendary daywalker, half man, half vampire, torn between the warm society of the living and the rushing power of the undead. From Bethesda and Arcane Leon, Marvel's Blade is a mature, single-player, third-person game set in the heart of Paris, now in development in collaboration with Marvel Games. So this game won't actually be an open-world title, but like Deathloop and Dishonored, it's going to have explorable areas and hopefully be able to complete missions in a variety of ways. You know that in the Dishonored games you have a bunch of powers and you can tackle missions from any angle you want, and we know that Blade of course has its own vampiric powers, which will most likely give us the same ability as in Dishonored, where we can tackle missions in more than one way. And we actually have some official concept art of the game which kind of gives us the look and feel of what the world is going to look like and how the atmosphere is going to be in the game. We can even see Blade with a revolver and of course his iconic sword, and we even have a shot of him in the underground where vampires look like they're on the subway train and he's actually fighting off a herd of bats. And I personally really like the choice of having the world be set in Paris, as I think it's a great change from the American settings, and I really hope that the map is very explorable, as I really want to see a lot of this Paris world filled with vampires and vampiric forces. We even got a new look of Blade in the Arcane artwork showcasing some of their most iconic characters from Prey, Dishonored, and we even got Blade in the background, and we actually get to see what his mouth looks like in vampiric form when he has those fangs out. We also got some huge news in terms of mechanics in the game, more importantly the morality system which is being considered, where I'm reading from gameranks.com. In the article that reads, rumor, Arcane is giving Marvel's Blade a morality system. Arcane's subtle morality systems may not quite match up with the world Blade lives in. As shared in the latest episode of the Xbox Lunch Break special, host Mr. Boomstick XL and Fuzzy Belvedere shared some information they claim to come from a mutual friend the two of them know on a personal level. They also make it clear that their source gave them the clearance to share this rumor. The rumor is that Arcane Leon is planning to implement a morality system for the Dayworkers' first solo video game, where Mr. Boomstick compares it to the morality system of the infamous video game. And we've actually saw similar things with the Dishonored game, with the chaos system, where the more people you kill, you get kind of the chaos ending, and the much more pacifist playthrough you play, you get the pacifist ending. So there must be something very similar about this game, and I can already tell that if Blade wants to go around and kill every single vampire, there are going to be those vampires where he'll have to kill for the greater good, even if they're not so inherently bad themselves. That will be something on the player to really decide who lives and who dies, which I think would be an amazing addition to this game. But again, this sounds like they are considering it, which means the game must be in very early development right now. Now, in terms of release date, the game was announced last year at the Game Awards, and although we're very close to the 2024 Game Award, insider Jeff Grubb has some information regarding the release date of the Blade game. It says here that Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb on the Xbox Era podcast is claiming that the single-player third-person game has an internal release window of 2027, and he also added that 2027 at the earliest, which means it could go on for an extra 1 or 2 years of development past that. Grubb says right now internally they are expecting to be sold on store shelves and digitally in 2027. That is the year that they are aiming for that game. And there are also rumors that the next generation Xbox will be coming in 2026, which means Deathloop was the last game for Arcane Leon, and their next game is coming on the next generation system. And even if the next Xbox does get delayed and goes into 2027 or 2028, that will still mean that Blade will be coming on the next generation system, which is absolutely crazy to think about because of how game development works. It seems like the majority of studios are now just making one big game per generation. But I can definitely see this being a cross-generation title, since that will still be in the early years of the next generation Xbox. And now with Xbox's new strategy, where they are really going down the multi-platform route, it's very very likely that we are going to be getting the Blade game on PlayStation 5, and depending how powerful the next generation Switch is, maybe even on that too. So expect this Blade game to come out on all platforms, maybe with a delayed release date on PlayStation 5, just how they are doing it with their Indiana Jones game, where that game is coming out in December of 2024, but on PlayStation 5 in spring 2025. Now it's likely that this game will not be connected to any of the Insomniac Marvel games, and will be of course in its own universe, so there is no connection in terms of interconnected universes. This is likely going to be a standalone game, and depending on how successful the Blade game is, maybe Arcane Leon could make another game in the Marvel universe, like a Daredevil game or a Moon Knight game, which I think, depending on how successful Blade is, they may even tackle another Marvel property afterwards, but it really depends on the success of Blade. Now again, this Blade game was announced in 2023 at the Game Awards, and the reason why they announced it so early was because Arcane is hiring brand new position for their games company so that they can get more workers to work on their upcoming games like Blade. But because we are so close to the next Game Awards now, I wonder if we will be getting anything new in regards to the Blade game, or maybe they will just go quiet on it for a couple of years, since it seems that the game is a long way away. And I also want to mention that because the Blade movie isn't coming out anytime soon, will likely be released after the Secret Wars, which will be post 2027. If then we can get a Blade movie in 2027, 2028, then this will actually work as a cross-media promotion, as people will be excited for the Blade movies, and there is opportunity there to promote the game side by side. But if anything, Blade will be fresh on people's minds at that point, hopefully, and there will be renewed interest in the Blade franchise, as Marvel Studios will be promoting Blade when they have a movie ready to go, or the fact that Wesley Snipes' Blade could be appearing in the Avengers movies, or maybe even getting his own solo film. That will also be something that could help rejuvenate the Blade franchise and the Blade character to the public audience, which will help the success of the game. And Arcane Leon has a very good track record of games, with their Dishonored games, the Prey game and the Deathloop, whereas Arcane Austin, who created the Redfall game, which was a disaster for Xbox, has been shut down. And it was crazy that that was a vampire game too. That was a massive failure for that studio. But before then, we might even see Blade in Marvel's Rivals, maybe as a future DLC character. And of course, like we've already said, we may even see the return of Wesley Snipes' Blade in the Avengers movies, which will then lead into a new era of the Marvel universe, where we will hopefully get finally the Mahershala Ali Blade movies. So it looks like Blade is going to have a very big future, with all the projects involving him, with a huge blockbuster solo movie coming and planned eventually sometime in the future, and of course this solo third-person AAA RPG game, which is being made by a developer with a very good track record. And there are also so many Marvel games coming soon, which we are going to be making videos about, so go ahead and subscribe, and please share this video with your friends who may like superhero games. And we're also going to be discussing the DC Universe games, and may even dive into some Disney projects too. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want from this Blade game. Please let me know in the comment section below. I really love to read what you guys think about these games, and especially what you want from these games. And there are tons of superhero games coming, so I'm going to be making a ton of videos, so please subscribe. Peace out, God bless you, and I'll see you in my next videos. Take care, guys.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind.